In this video, we'll talk about how to write the equation of a parabola in intercept form. So intercept form is when we write the equation of a parabola in this form. Y is equal to a times x minus p times x minus q. So let's work through a couple examples. Let's say we're told that this parabola has the following x-intercepts, 2, 0, and 4, 0. And let's say we're also told that the parabola contains the point 0, -4. Using this information, how could we write the equation of this parabola in intercept form? Well, it helps if we first recognize that the p and the q are the values where the parabola crosses the x-axis. So for example, we can see that the first x value where our parabola crosses the x-axis is a 2, and the second x value is a 4. So we can pick p or q to be 2 or 4. It doesn't matter, they're interchangeable. So let's write y is equal to a times x minus, for p, we'll just choose that to be 2. And then we have x minus q, so we'll let q be the 4 right here. Now notice the only value that we have to solve for is a. So the way that we can do that is we can use this other coordinate that we're told also belongs on the parabola, 0, -4. So if we plug in a 0 for x and a -4 for y, we can solve for a. So let's do that. So we'll say -4 is equal to a. Remember, for x, we're going to plug in a 0. So 0 minus 2 times 0 minus 4. So we get -4 is equal to 0 minus 2 is -2. So we'll say a times -2. 0 minus 4 is -4. So -4. So we get -4 is equal to, -2 times -4 is a positive 8. So we'll say this right-hand side is equal to 8 times a. So to solve for a, we can divide both sides by 8. A is equal to -4/8, or if we want to reduce, that would be -1/2. So we can write our final equation as y is equal to, we just solved for a, we saw that was -1/2, x minus 2 times x minus 4. And that is our final answer. That is how we can write this parabola shown in the graph here in intercept form. All right, let's try one more example. Let's say we're given this graph of a parabola and we want to write it in intercept form. So we're told that this parabola has x-intercepts -5, 0, and 2, 0, and we're also told that the point -4, 2 belongs on the parabola. So we first need to recognize, once again, that the p and the q, these are the two values where the parabola crosses the x-axis. So we can see that it crosses at -5 and at a value of 2. So we can choose either 2 or -5 to be p or q. It doesn't matter, they're interchangeable. So let's write this as y is equal to a times x minus p. So if we choose a -5 to be our p, we would have x minus -5, which would be x plus 5. And then we have x minus q. So if we choose 2 to be our q, we would just have x minus 2. Okay, so now that we've written it like this, we just need to solve for a. And the way that we can do that is we can use this other point that we're given, -4, 2. And we can plug in -4 for x, and we can plug in 2 for y, and we can see what a is. So if we do that, we get 2 is equal to a times, remember, for x we're using -4, so -4 plus 5 times -4 minus 2. So we get 2 is equal to a times -4 plus 5 is 1, -4 minus 2 is -6. So we get 2 is equal to -6 times a. To solve for a, we can divide both sides by -6. We get a is equal to -2/6, or if we would like to reduce, that would be -1/3. So a is -1/3. So we can write our final answer as this equation that we found up here, but we're going to replace a with -1/3. So we get -1/3 times x plus 5 times x minus 2. And that is our final answer. That's how we can write this parabola in intercept form.